Uh, I just got a new wireless headset like last week, so Discord is like, and then I've got speakers in my TV. It's hooked up to a surround sound receiver, and then it's like this. Anytime I change Discord profiles, it's like, oh god, where does the sound go?
That's really interesting.
Right. I understand that,
Huh.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Alright,
yep.
well, yeah, I have a list of questions here for you, if you are ready for the first one.
Right, go for it.
Alright, well, I've seen that you've experienced quite a bit of internet harassment and bullying lately. Has this been causing you any stress?
I'm sort of used to it at this point. It like
Alright.
just the volume of it is a little stressful this time around, but
Right, you said there were death threats.
yeah, I'm kind of used to it at this point since like the a video of my truck went viral like 2.5 years ago, and just within the course of a weekend, my Instagram went from 75 followers to 3,500.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm just a weird dude from Detroit. Like what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, the next question, I guess.
Mhm.
When did the accusations of, the stuff that's been going on, when did that start?
Um, like I said, when that video, it was November 2019 when that video first
Mm.
hit Reddit, and it's like anytime it gets
Reddit.
reposted somewhere, yeah,
Yeah, I get your situation. Yeah.
yeah. So you get the quality of the bullshit that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Um, how have you reacted to all of this?
I was a lot more antagonistic at first, but it's a lot better that I've realized to just approach it sort of calmly and sarcastically, like, yeah, no, and try and diffuse the situation. People get a lot more upset when you don't react to them.
Hi, sorry.
Right, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Go
Go
for it.
for it.
Um, so when you got called out, you said it got like really popular. So I'm wondering, uh, the people who came after you or came to your page, I'm wondering if a lot of them, like how many were supporters, how many were fine, and how many were just to, or how many came just to harass you and such.
It At first it was sort of a mixed bag. Like I'd say probably 50-50 people that were genuinely interested in my like whatever content I was putting out, and then 50% of the people that were just there to troll me. Ooh, sorry.
Ha-
I've done a pretty good job at like digging through and figuring out what the toxic accounts were that were following me and blocking those people, but it's sort of slowed down now. Thankfully, most of the interactions and follows that I get now are positive.
that's really interesting. Have you ever gotten noticed that like IRL is your face like usually associated with your pages?
Um, all of my social media is public. I post my face on all of my social media and my actual name. I've always been a public person. I'm not afraid of some internet because like 90% of this is I've never had a negative reaction to my truck in public. And I think a lot of it is just like the ability to hide behind a screen and be anonymous gives people like the confidence to lash out at strangers.
Yes,
Um,
definitely. I've noticed that in my recent investigations.
um, like, would you say the same applies to you? Um, I know you have like lolly and anime stickers on your car, but I'm wondering if you act a certain way online that you don't in real life, or just kind of up some, something similar to what you said earlier, in which people can act a certain way online but not in real life.
I think I think everyone sort of puts on a mask when they get online. Yeah, I've definitely not the same person behind the keyboard as I am like at work or out with my friends. Like, but I think that's true for everyone in every situation. We all sort of have different masks we wear for certain situations. Like, you're not going to act the same if you're going out to dinner with your grandmother as you would going out with your bros at the bar on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Um, are people, that you see on a usually daily basis or that you are very close with, um, I'm sorry for like taking the spotlight. Um, are they aware that you enjoy the things you do?
Yes. Yeah. Most of my friend group and my family are aware of my hobbies and interests.
Have they ever like opposed or found like discomfort in it?
Um, for the most part, like thankfully, most of the people that I have chosen to interact with in my personal life are pretty understanding about like, well, that's like I think it's gross, but you're not hurting anyone and like you're not in my face about it, so I'm not going to be an asshole about it. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's interesting. And I'm sorry. I'm just giving my last question. I'm really sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
I don't want this to sound antagonistic. I'm just trying to look at this from multiple points of views. But I'm
Yeah.
wondering,
No, like
like, don't you think? Because there's this theory I heard one time, and it applied to video game piracy, but I think it could be applied to multiple situations, and it's which you normalize certain things, and then that leads to the normalization of worse things. So I'm thinking like, do you think I don't really have an opinion on this, I'm not educated on it, but do you
okay.
think that the like your attraction to lolicons, I'm not sure about the terminology,
The,
um
the normalization of lolicon would lead to like fetishization of actual children. I don't believe this is the case. I think that if you are going to abuse a child, that you are mentally predispositioned to think that way.
Right. Yeah, I
so
get that.
And
this
like regardless of external stimuli, it's sort of the same argument. Like, I try to use this as a counter argument against the people harassing me because they're using the same argument that shitty parents in the 90s used to try and ban rap music and violent video games. Like, if somebody wanted to shoot up their school, that was like gonna happen regardless of whether or not they're playing Call of Duty or not.
That's interesting.
Mm,
Like, I don't think
right.
that's going to be a push. Like, I understand that fiction can influence reality, and the problem there isn't with like the art form per se. It's a problem with the end user or the consumer not being able to differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I agree with you on that.
Like
Uh,
another argument that I like to use against that is buy something off you. You're not going to accept monopoly money as actual currency. It's an easily identifiable counterfeit designed for use within a fantasy environment.
right, yeah. Yeah, I think you made some interesting points there. Uh, you mind if we go back to like questions about bullying and harassment and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to go off on this tangent. That's sort
Oh,
of the source of the current bullying and harassment. So
right,
like at least we got that tangent out of the way.
right. It shows like the different
Mhm.
perspectives and stuff,
Yeah.
and like the backstory behind why this is happening.
Yep.
All right. Well, how would you say you've reacted to all of this? I guess it kind of goes with like, actually, no. I'm actually kind of curious. Has any of this had any effect on like your mentality or your mental state?
I'm definitely like a bit more cautious in responding to DMs and like friend requests and stuff like that now, just because of some of the skeevy people that have harassed me over the last few years.
Right, because it might be a troll or something.
Yeah, like, and then they get some of my personal information and try and dox me over some bullshit.
Mm, right.
Which is why we're on my alternate Discord account right now.
Understandable, right.
Yeah, it's just like my whole take on that is if you're willing to, tell me to kill myself unsolicited in a private message, what makes me think that you're not going to try and hack some of my accounts?
Mm, right.
Um, I'm wondering because I know a lot of people who do more, and I'm not saying what you're doing is bad. Oh, hold up, I gotta be right back. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, next.
No, yeah, is there anything like else pertaining to lolicons and stuff? I'm not too knowledgeable on the subject, but do you have any more like sort of arguments towards people who say that there's a direct correlation between maybe people who abuse children and people who watch or are attracted to animated children?
There's I'd have to like dig for studies and stuff, but there have been studies done on it. There's not really a lot of study material on like pedophilia in general or that kind of thing because it's such a taboo subject. But there have been studies done on lolicons, a lot more in Japan, which has a much lower rate of like child abuse and that sort of thing. So like maybe there's like a correlation trending in the opposite direction that these people
Hmm.
try to
That's
argue
interesting.
towards.
Alright, sorry.
Towards.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
You can
I'm not
continue.
necessarily opposed to lolicon, but once again, I'm not exactly knowledgeable on the subject and its correlations with, like I said, actual
Actual
abuse of
CSAM,
children.
CSAM, yeah.
Yeah, but
No, in the thing about it is the reason it is a lot of people mistakenly claim that it is illegal in the United States, and that isn't true. That was uh part of the Protect Act that was amended in 2013 because it was deemed unconstitutional because it was essentially punishing thought crimes like, well, this they might do something, and that was deemed unconstitutional. So as of right now, lolicon is perfectly legal in the United States as there is no harm being inflicted on any actual people. The
Oh,
only situations that it would be is if an actual minor was used in production of the work, say somebody as a model or doctored CP.
hmm,
I'm wondering.
right.
I know.
Again,
Well, I had
because
a.
yep.
Oh, I know you
Oh,
said like
sorry.
No,
if
go
they're
ahead.
used as a model or some sort, and I'm wondering like, does a reference count as a model? I'm sorry, I just didn't really fully understand that because there's this one
Well,
situation where a pedophile sexually assaulted his sister, and some artist drew his sister in some inappropriate fan art. So I'm wondering like if that counts as something like illegal or whatever you're talking about. And yeah,
I I believe so because the art is based on an actual child. I think the law more pertains to like an actual model being used in the drawing as opposed to like drawing fan art of a live person, but it might. It's still that's like would definitely be like a weird thing for me, like knowing that this was an actual child. Like, ugh, that's a little gross, guy. Like,
Right.
def-
Well, I have one
definitely
last
not
question to ask
okay.
you, if you're ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, would you say that it's safe for someone who's like you attracted to lollies and stuff? Would it be safe for them to live near a school, like an elementary or middle school?
Absolutely. As long as they're like, again, as long as they are able to differentiate between fantasy and reality. I actually live across the street from an elementary school.
Yeah, I know, you fucking
Yeah,
pedophile.
you fucking freak. I'm sorry, man.
Uh,
It's like, come on,
the
they look like
long
kids.
Yeah,
con,
They
all
look
right.
like kids, bro.
yep.
They look
You
like kids.
fucking pedo,
You're
bro. You
sexualizing
fucking
them.
Persona 5 fan playing Genshin Impact, raping kids, ass nigga.
Come on, bro. This is foul.
Oh,
Like,
congratulations on the long con.
get some
And
help, please. You live
You should
across
get
the
some help, man. I'm
elementary
sorry. You
school.
gotta get some help.
eh,
This
I
ain't
think I'm
right, bro.
fine. Again, I'm not hurting
Laws,
anyone, but
laws do not equate to
You're
morals.
hurting my feelings.
You're adding on to the normalization of pedophilia, and that's horrible.
Yeah, pedophilia is bad, bro. I'm literally 15 years old. This isn't funny, bro.
As a victim of sexual assault, I do not appreciate you sexualizing all this. The fact that they look like children, and you're being like, let's celebrate, let's celebrate Flatter Day. That's really fucked up, and I don't appreciate it, and it's it's just fucked up, and I'm really shocked that there's people out there who are just like, oh, this is normal. They look like
It's
children,
disgusting.
and you're getting off to the fact that they look like children, and that's just rancid. That's horrible. That's immoral.
It doesn't matter if they're animated. They are children, and it is disgusting.
and that's your opinion. And
No, that
that's,
is my cock. These nuts. Kill yourself. Ratio.
well, stay mad about nothing and have a wonderful night.